What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the Wallet Monkey channel, where we give you all the credit intel you need to grow your wallet. Simple as that. So today we're gonna hyper focus in on AOD Federal Credit Union. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this one, but this one is called Anniston Ordnance Depot, or AOD Federal Credit Union. Strange, but they are based out of the Alabama and Georgia area. So geolocation is obviously best with credit unions. There's so many credit unions across the United States, tens of thousands, and it is the easiest to be able to go into a bank branch or to be able to print off documents and hand deliver them, etc. But if you're not in that geolocation, do not fret, there is a way in. So this credit union, there's actually a monster amount of data for, and they're from two different points in time. There is before the FICO forums essentially raided this credit union, and then after. So pre and post raid, let's call it. And beforehand, what was happening is they were absolutely insane with the amount of credit limits that they were giving out. The documentation they needed wasn't that bad, and the underwriting process was actually very, very lenient. And this is what happens a lot of times, is that you get these little hidden gems, right, where they don't really know what's happening, and then after like a couple days, maybe even a couple months, they realize, oh shit, you know, somebody must have made a YouTube video or something, because they're being absolutely raided with a ton of new people signing up for memberships and trying to get credit cards. This is what happened here. And then what happened after that is, let's call it post raid, is that they tightened up and they became very, very conservative. So that's where they are now. Just take that with a grain of salt. Again, I like to give you this up front so that you can kind of classify, just like with some of the other credit unions we've talked about, where does this fit on your spectrum? Now, the benefit here is a 3% card with really low APR. So I know that for a lot of people, APR is what matters most. And if you can also get 3% across the board rewards, it's like, holy cow, let's do it. So that is the big hook here. I don't really hear much or know much about the other products. They do got loan products that are great. They've got really low rates across the boards on everything, which is what you can expect from a very small hometown credit union like this. So first off, let's talk about locations. So yeah, they're actually all exclusively in Alabama, but here's what they did that was interesting. They partnered with other credit unions to allow them to be able to do additional services within their network, right? So you can go to all kinds of other physical credit union branch locations because they're partnered. And you know who does this too is Security Services Federal Credit Union in Colorado, which I've used before. They do the same thing. So you can go into like other banks and use them and make deposits into your AOD account in a completely different bank. I know it's weird, right? But you can do check services, you can do withdrawals, basically everything you would need to do in a bank that's not yours. Here's the locations. Let's now talk about membership. Like all credit unions, membership is required. And I've got, like I said, just an absolute crap ton of data on this. So let me pull up, I'm working off of, unfortunately, 2 documents. The most popular or common way in is through NEBA, that is the Northeast Alabama Bicycle Association, NEABA. And it's a $10 donation. It's done immediately online right here, credit card or PayPal, and they email you confirmation. You will then attach that confirmation with the rest of the documentation that AOD asked for. But this is the easiest way in. I wouldn't say the easiest, but the way that I'm seeing most people getting in, right? Okay, let me give you the other 5 ways in. So we've obviously got the sponsor groups. There's over 2,000. And then we've got the NEBA, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other ways in. The United Way of East Central Alabama, limited to members rather than donations. The Anniston Bridge Club, the Anniston Runners Club, the Calhoun Court Chambers membership, which is a $90 joining fee, or the Purple Martin Conservation Association, which is a $35 annual fee. Yes, NEBA is probably your best bet. $5 one time, go do it. Okay, and they immediately send you the welcome and confirmation email, so that's why everyone likes it. Okay, so let's quickly touch into the credit card, and then we're gonna dive back into required documents. It's a starting credit line of $5,000, so minimum of $5,000, up to $25,000, no annual fee, and APRs are as low as 7.49%. You see they get down as low as 7.2% on the secured, and the platinum, where's the platinum fall? 8.49, so really great rates across the board. I'd say anything under 10% is absolutely amazing, but this is what everyone wants, is the 3% cash back. The 3% cash back is no frills, no games, no hoops, very clean rewards cashback program. And there are other 3% cards out there. I think that paired up with the 8% or less APR is what, people are really looking for. Now let's talk about the required documents. This is kind of interesting. So you'll need pay stubs, utility bill, ID, social security card, proof of eligibility, which is basically the NEBA membership, 2 references, as well as a selfie pic. So they'll want a photo of you holding a paper with AOD FCU written on it, and the date, which this is kind of like KYC stuff for crypto if you've ever done that. And then 2 references can be anybody, basically just 2 people that you know that can vouch for you, and one of them can be your spouse. Quite a bit in terms of like what you need. Everything in terms of documentation is done through DocuSign. So when you actually get approved for the membership, what you're gonna look for is, it might end up coming into your spam, but you're gonna look for an email that has the DocuSign in the subject line, and then it's gonna have the DocuSign link inside of it. So that's why sometimes it goes into spam. But that's for all your membership approval documents and then credit card approval documents as well. Okay, so as I mentioned, you will need the membership in order to get into the credit card action. And so go ahead and, get that set up first. Now I'm reading conflicting data, and the confliction is pre-raid and post-raid. Pre-raid is if you apply for the membership and the credit card at the same time, you may initially receive an approval for the credit card, but then denied membership. The credit card will also then be denied. And then post-raid is just submit them both at the same time. Doesn't really matter. So I'm not really sure. What I would probably suggest is to wait a day. If you had any questions about that, just call them. I mean, this stuff, it doesn't need to be so difficult, right? Just give them a call. For membership, they're gonna pull check systems, and it's gonna be a hard pull. What you're looking for here is probably, I'd say 5 or less over the last 2 years of check systems pulls. And there's some people that, reported 7 and 8 inquiries on their check systems and they were denied. So that is on the high side. I think anything 5 or below is okay. Probably want to be somewhere around 3, but it's because it's like, okay, well, check systems is pulled just for checking accounts and savings accounts. So it's like, yikes, why do you have so many? That is a very valid question. Like, are we burning checking accounts? Are we doing something else, or trying to acquire too much credit? These are questions that they start to ask, because why else would you have so many check system pulls, right? They will also pull Equifax. And so here's what's very interesting about this is they pull Equifax EQ5 for memberships. And I'm also hearing that and reading that they will pull that for credit cards as well. EQ5 is like your mortgage Equifax number. So that's like your FICO 5. That's your mortgage number that they're pulling, which is interesting. That should also be, depending, it might be one of your lowest credit scores too. It's just a weird credit score to pull, right? For a credit card, not, for a mortgage, it makes sense, but for a credit card, it's kind of interesting. Now, the big emphasis with AOD is DTI. Now, they kind of do DTI. So how DTI is usually figured is debt to income ratio. So how much are we making per month versus how much are we paying in on all of our open revolving credits per month, then we just multiply that by 12. At least one user reported that AOD calculated a monthly payment amount equivalent to a standard repayment plan rather than the much lower IBR payment amount, hence increasing DTI. Now, DTI should be, I heard people that were over 30% getting rejected, so you probably want to be somewhere around 25% on DTI. The lower, the better. So that's how you would calculate your actual DTI in this sense, right? The EQ5 scores appear to determine what APR you come in at. So the better your EQ5 score, the better your APR will be. Income or debt to income is the primary driver for your actual starting limit or credit limit that you get in the beginning. So SL or starting credit limit, SCL, right? So just keep in mind that if you're signing up for membership or looking to get a personal loan, you want to double check your check systems and your LexisNexis, make sure nothing's frozen, there's no fraud alerts put on it, etc. That might get it denied, right? Because we don't want that, because that is just a waste. That's just a waste of a hard pull. Okay, so now let's give some specifics in terms of getting approved and on the credit limit, what to ask for. Then we'll get into some numbers and some data points, right? So you're better off just asking for the full 25,000 max that you can get on the signature card, the VS card, because they're gonna, using this based off an underwriting process, that they're gonna come up with their own number anyway. So it doesn't matter if you ask for 1,000 or you ask for 25,000, they're gonna approve you for what they approve you for. So it doesn't really matter. So you might as well just ask for the full thing, knowing that they're just gonna give you the starting limit that they feel best about anyways. And then the second point here, which I thought was interesting, is one user had called in and talked to a rep, and they said that they actually don't like to see a lot of credit cards regardless if they have zero balances or not, that will be used against you. And I saw this brought up by a couple users in the forums over the last couple months, is that they had decent DTI. Their DTI was like 30%, around that area, right? Utilization was 10% or less, and they were still getting denied. And so I think this theory probably does hold up. Now, is this 100% down the line? Don't know. But just keep in mind is that if you do have a ton of total credit limit available and you've got a lot of cards, let's say 20 cards, is that might actually be used against you with getting approved. Hard pulls that they do last 30 days. So you can go and get let's say the signature card and then get a line of credit opened up within 30 days. And they'll use that. Equally is when you sign up, they will hard pull Equifax as well for the membership. Use that same hard pull to get a credit card, and then you could probably use that same hard pull again. I would just call them and ask to use to get a personal line of credit, or try and get the credit card and line of credit at the same time. So that could all work as well. Now let's talk some data points. There was a total of 86 approvals that went through this whole tsunami with AOD back in Q1 of 2020. So here's some of the limits and APRs that they got. 20,000 at 7.49, 7,500 at 7.49, 20,000 at 7.49. EQ5 was 729, 0 inquiries over the last 12 months, 4 inquiries over the last 24 months, 14% utilization, 24% DTI. So there you go. DTI under 25% I think is going to be key with AOD, because get that key with AOD. Anyways, 5,000 at 8.99, EQ5 of 728, 4 inquiries over the last 24 months, utilization 2%, 15,000 at 8.99, EQ5 score was 684, 1% utilization, 5% DTI. That is amazing. 10,000 at 7.49%. EQ score was 795. 3 inquiries in the last 12 months, less than 1% utilization. Okay, back into the beginning of 2021 now. Basically the whole first quarter we've got here. 10,000 at 8.9%. EQ was 697, 15% DTI, 15,000 at 7.49. The EQ score was 754. 1 inquiry over the last 24 months, 30% DTI. 10,000 at 7.49. EQ was 696. 7 inquiries over the last 24 months and 19% utilization. $5,000 at 7.49%. 15,000 at 7.49%, 5,000 at 7.49%, EQ is 725, less than 1% utilization. 15,000 at 749, EQ is 799, 1% utilization. 3 inquiries over the last 12 months, 7,000 at 9.99%, EQ was 670. 6 inquiries over the last 12 months, and 10% utilization. Wow, that's a high amount of inquiries. So obviously inquiries don't really matter that much. They had, if I'm reading this right, they had 20 inquiries over the last 24 months. That is insane. 10% utilization. I'd love to see what DTI looked like on that. Yeah, that's kind of weird because that goes against what we were just talking about with a ton of fresh new accounts, even if they're sitting at 0. $5,000 at 749, EQ is 753. 2 inquiries last 12 months, 6% utilization, 35 to 50% DTI. It's kind of a shocker, but that's why you got such a low starting limit. Okay, 25,000 at 749. EQ was 804. 0 inquiries over the last 24 months, 6% utilization, 8% DTI. Okay, this is like poster boy for getting the best, like the maxed out everything within this year. So that was in April of this year. There you go. If you've got over an 800, 0 inquiries over the last 24 months, 6% utilization, 8% DTI, it is a slam dunk that you're going to get that 25,000 at the best APR, I would say at this point. Okay, a couple more here. 15,000 at 749. EQ is 786. 12 over the last 24 months. Low utilization, low DTI. 10,000 at 9.99. EQ is 677. So a little bit lower score. That's good to know. And here's another lower score is 5,000 at 99%. EQ was 680. 2 inquiries over the last 12 months and 14% DTI. Clearly, credit score was affecting that from first glance. I'd love to know income numbers on that last one. But anyways, so there you go. A huge range of data points. Essentially everything you need to know to get into AOD today. The process, what I'd like to leave you with is a screenshot here of the process. I thought this was cool and this is really unique. I wanted to show you this. So here's the timeline. You could expect similar. If you're gonna get approved or submit for approval on a Friday, don't expect to hear nothing back until the following week. Approvals for membership can take up to 6 days, 7 days, right? So 1 week. All right, so Saturday, joined the bike group. applied for membership and signature card, VS card. On Monday, received a request for additional documentation, proof of income, selfie, etc. Wednesday, received membership disclosures and online account credentials. That's that email I was telling you about from DocuSign. Thursday, funded savings account by phone. Credit card shows as approved on the application status page. Friday, received credit card disclosures. Monday, the following week, they signed credit card disclosures. Tuesday, credit card account shows up in online banking, and voila, completely done. So there you go. That's what you can expect all the way down to the actual process itself. I hope this was valuable for you. If it was, just hit the like button. And if you got something to add or some additional data points, you've done this recently, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section, or if you just want to say, hey, cool, good job, bud, to help us support the video, get this in front of more people. I think a video like this is very, very beneficial for somebody just to get 10 minutes or less, exactly everything they need to know. This is their kind of video. And if you're not subscribed already, take a second, hit the red subscribe button, bell notification. We'll see you again in another video real soon.